Hello and welcome to Inderes TV. Today I'm in the studio with Analyst Atte Riikola and we're going to talk about Remedy. Hi Atte.
Hi.
So let's start with Remedy's Q4. It came in almost at record level at 17 million. What was the drivers behind this?
Yeah, the numbers were pretty line with my expectations, but they were a little bit better. And on the revenue side, it was expected that there is development fees from the Max Payne remake that Remedy is doing as a work for hire project for Rockstar, and then there is also some development fees coming from the Control Resonant. That is, Annapurna is co-financer of the project, so that side was pretty much as expected. But then on the game sales and royalty side, there was like positive surprises, and one part that was expected was that Alan Wake 2 was Game of the Month in October in PlayStation PS Plus for PS Plus members, and that was like one-time B2B payment from Sony on that side, and the game was also otherwise selling pretty well, even though it was like freely available for the PS players. And otherwise there was B2P payments from the FBC Firebreak. Otherwise that game, it's still there is not any players playing the game, so there wasn't that much game sales from that, but it was like earlier contract with Microsoft and Sony, so there is some payment still coming in from that. And then I think the positive surprise came from the original Control game. That is, it's already released in 2019, and it was still last year. Remedy announced that the game sold like over 1 million copies.
Right.
It's pretty good for that old game, and of course it was getting at the end of the year. It was getting some positive momentum from the announcement of the Control Resonant. So and of course there was like, and has been whole the year was like big discount campaigns, so the average price of the game wasn't that high, but still it's still selling and generating revenue, some millions for Remedy, so it's pretty good. Good. So, and otherwise on the cost structure side, everything was pretty much as expected. And now when the revenues grow, and Remedy has like a pretty fixed cost base, so then it also scales pretty nicely to the profitability, and that how the EBITDA grew pretty much from the comparison period.
Okay. Well, of course, the big news is that Control Resonant will be released this year. That's like the major news right now. So, what's the importance of this game for Remedy?
Yeah, it's now like it's like almost all in the game now, because it's like the most ambitious game Remedy has done yet since date, and it's like it's not now the first AAA game that is like the bread and butter for Remedy. So it's now the Remedy is self-publishing it, so there is like everything is on the line basically. Now you are self-publishing it basically on all platforms since day one. In the history there's always been some restrictions with the different platforms that has been affecting the games. Just now you have all the platforms, you are doing all the publishing and marketing stuff yourself, so now you need to succeed. And of course now, if it's a successful game, it's gonna, of course, as a self-publisher, Remedy will get a fair amount of the game sales for themselves. So it's like, from commercial point of view, it's the most important game launch since in the Remedy's history. And if it's successful, Remedy is also able to finance and self-publish the next upcoming games, at least with my estimates. But otherwise, if for some reason if the game doesn't succeed, then now Remedy's balance sheet is pretty strong. But if that big game launch for some reason would be a flop, then there might be a problem for financing the next game. So it's like very, very important that Remedy is able to make a successful game launch with Control Resonant.
Yeah, and like you said, it's self-published. So do you feel, or do you expect that Remedy is ready for this scale of a self-publishing this big a title?
Yeah, they have been like learning about the publishing part. They have been like co-publisher and building their own publishing team in the last, let's say, 5 years, and so they have gathered the information and learnings, and on that perspective I think they are ready. But of course it's like a show time for the team, because this is now the the case where they have to succeed. And of course with the FBC Firebreak, it was of course not like it was the Remedy's first multiplayer game, and so it wasn't like in the core focus area of Remedy, that like those narrative driven single player games basically are, like Control Resonant. So now they have to be able to make a really good game launch.
Yeah. So I guess we've seen the first commercials of Control Resonance now. Do you know how have they been welcomed in the market? What's the first reactions?
Yeah, I think the first impressions are like positive, and that's of course a good sign. And there's already like a big fan base of for Control. Like the first title has sold over 5 million copies, and there has been over 20 million players playing the game. So there is like now the audience is already there, but otherwise also now when the latest gameplay trailer was announced in the Sony State of Play event, so on that there was like lots of positive news articles written about the game, and I think many different streamers were like their attitude was like positive towards the game, and also if you look at the different comments on the social media or the YouTube below the game trailer, it's looking pretty good, and that's of course as it should be in this. It's typically if the reception at this point would be already negative, then it might be hard to make a good game launch. But now it's looking still good. And then one metric that Remedy also highlighted in their own Q4 report was that if you look at the Steam platform, that is the PC platform for games, so there you can like put games in the wish list. So the development of the wish list is going pretty well for the Control Resonance. So of course we cannot make like yet conclusions how the game's gonna sell, but also that piece of information looks pretty good.
Yeah, so there's high expectations and hype around the game already now. So
I would not say hype, but like positive momentum.
They're interested.
It's not like the most anticipated game for this year, but there is like hype among the Control fans, but maybe on the general gamer level, it's not that popular yet, but it's like building building up the momentum. And of course now the next couple of months are really important, like when you're building or trying to build the hype that all the gamers would buy the game on the first day of the launch.
Yeah. Well, you already touched on Firebreak, and in the last interview with Isa, you talked a lot about it. So how is it doing? What are the plans for it going forward?
From sales-wise, it's not doing good, and now basically Remedy also said that they're now gonna do still like some minor update on the game, but otherwise most of the development team has been moved to other projects, and basically I believe that the game will be it will be on the maintenance mode, so players can play it, but there is not any huge investments on that. So pretty like low cost maintenance, and I guess the game is gonna be available, but I have not any revenue expectations for the game in the coming years. So it's from that sense it's basically dead.
Yeah, and focus now on Control Resonance, everything, all resources and everything. Well, finally, then, of course, the valuation recommendation. What is it like now?
Oh, I think the situation is roughly same as the last time. So if an investor believes that the Control Resonant and the next couple of games that Remedy will be launching are successful, then it's a buy case, because there's like a huge potential if those next games are commercially good releases. So then there is like a lot of upside, I think. But of course, if you don't believe in the next coming games, then you should not invest in Remedy. It's quite black and white at this moment. And so if you like my base case estimates are like built on that expectation that the Control Resonant will sell pretty well, and I believe it will sell well. There is still I think that's my base case, and that's why we have a buy recommendation at this moment, because now it's the key catalyst. So the game launch is very close, and the stock has been down. So now I think if you believe on that game, then there is time to buy. But otherwise,
don't touch it.
Don't touch it. But it's like always, it's pretty high risk, high reward case on that sense. And of course, the sentiment around gaming stocks hasn't been that good in the past couple of months. Like there's also some investors are a little bit scared about the possibility that AI would disrupt the business models or how games are developed. But I think that's a little bit overreaction on some points. It's still like making games is really hard, and especially even though you could like make a game much cheaper with AI, it's still like you need to get the players' awareness, and that has been always the hard part, the distribution part. So there is already like thousands and thousands of games, but only the best brands will take most of the revenues every year. So it's still like you. And so on that sense, I think Remedy, they have now the Control brand and Alan Wake, so there is like two very like well-known titles for them. So it's like a good foundation to build on for the next games also. So on that sense, I still think that Remedy has good opportunities to grow their business in the coming years, now when they are just able to make a successful launch with the Control Resonant, and then all the next games they just need to keep on executing and building. So there is with the current share price, there is opportunity if things go well.
Yeah, so keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Atte. So Remedy, a buy recommendation, and just waiting for the launch of Control Resonant. You can find out more on inderes.se, and if you have questions regarding Remedy, you can ask them directly to Atte at our discussion forum. Thank you.